There.
And we are live at 6 o'clock.
I think
Hello,
I'm too
everyone.
tall. Hello, everybody.
She's bouncy, and she's golden, and I'm kind of I'm a little bit more color. I had a little bit more color on me. How's everybody doing? And people are jumping on now. Come on, come on, come on. How you, Babette?
I'm good. How are you, Tara?
I'm good. I'm good. You had a good week?
I did have a good week. Yeah, it was productive.
Oh,
And
good, good.
you've been driving across America.
Yeah, I was in Utah and I had never been to Utah before, but it's so beautiful with all the red rocks and everything. And then, I had to get a hike in. It was more like
Yeah.
a walk and climb some rocks, but
Right.
but it was nonetheless so
I saw
beautiful. I
what
was
you
there
posted. It
to
was pretty.
Yeah. Hey
Yeah.
Tom, nice to see you both. Happy Sunday, Tom. We're so happy to have you as always.
I can't see you guys hopping on, so Tara will be
Well,
saying
I'm going to
hi.
tell you, yeah. You know what? You could have probably gone in the other way too. Next time, Babette, remind me to send you through the other way.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you could probably get it that way. But yeah, everybody's logging in. Their numbers are climbing, climbing, climbing. I love it. I love it. I love it. So we are so excited today because we're going to talk to. Well, first we want to let's say hello to some more people. Say hi to Frankie, Babette,
Hey,
and Jules,
Frankie.
Gennaro, and Chris Lampkin, and who else is
I'm just
on?
going to say hi to everybody coming on because I can't see it. But hey.
Elena and Tanya. Happy Sunday to you all. Wow, the numbers are back up. I'm so excited. You know what? Every week we really try to bring you some interesting and new people and people that actually propels us forward, because when we're going through our own stuff and our own growth, we sometimes feel like we're alone.
Right.
And when you start talking when you're hearing some of these stories or with the doctors of just their everyday person, it really uplifts you to make you feel, I could get through this, whatever this thing is, you know.
Right.
So we have
Mm-hmm.
Tonya and I can't see this name. Hold on. Valilat and Joan. I'm sorry if I pronounced anything wrong. I keep pretending I don't need glasses, and I don't. I'm a I'm gonna will I'm gonna will my vision back. And it hasn't left yet, but I am willing it into 2020, can see
Ooh,
everything
but this
vision.
did clear things up for me though.
I
Soon as
know.
I
Well, good
did
for
that,
you. Yeah, well, good for
you
you because
did
I'm not putting
you
them on.
stopped being smushy in the face. I stopped being smushy in the
Darla and Cynthia and Sherelle and Robin and Nikki. Oh my God, the names. Hi, everybody. Candace and Jules. Beautiful ladies. Thank you, Jules, because we put in no effort today. Sometimes we just want to be
Oh, I
natural.
know. Oh,
And also because our guest is so beautiful, and with her
right.
she's very natural and beautiful. So it's like, you know what? I can be natural. I don't need no makeup. Right? Right,
well,
Babette?
wait a minute, Tara. You know, I've slapped some paint on me at 2 o'clock in the morning, so it's pretty rubbed off. Eyebrows, half eyebrows missing, and because I've been asleep, so it's
I know how that goes. Tamia, Darrell, Natalie. Yep, they're climbing on. We're so thankful to have you all today. I'm so excited. I think this young lady found us on social media.
yeah, she
And I'm
did.
trying. Yeah, she
She's been
reached out and
watching
said,
the shows.
yeah, she would love to be a guest. And that's what I tell you guys. If you've got a great story, or if you're doing something that can uplift or empower another person, come on aboard. If you're just trying to get into veganism, but you're also about uplifting and empowering, let us know. Shoot us an inbox. We'll throw you on this. This is about not just about professionals, but it's about the everyday person who is a professional in their life.
Well, I
And we
mean, because
learn.
I have to agree with you because it's like we put people in these categories, and we're all human. We're all one in this, and we all have a light. And so, what a lot of times, because we have not been placed in that category, we allow our light to be dimmed, and it should not be dimmed. And so, I was so happy when she reached out and said, I got something to say. I'd love to be on this show. This looks like a
Mhm.
platform that would work for me and what I have to say. So it's just excellent because we all have a light.
We all have a light, and sometimes we hear better from the average person.
Hmm.
Like what I'm saying. When you're hearing somebody who walked in your shoes, you tend
Right.
to listen to them more than you with a professional who went to school and studied and are feeding you information like this. Well, you know, what they say is this. Then somebody said, girl, this is what I did.
Right.
You know, and then you
Right.
go, oh, wait, shoot. This was my life 2 years ago. I couldn't move my leg, or my, you know, my eyesight was going, or I had diabetes, or I had this. And this girl is saying she had the same thing, as opposed to a doctor who you sometimes feel is going to give you the rhetoric of what they were taught. So I love having the everyday. So if any of you guys have something to say, to inbox us and say, I want to be on your show, right, and we
Right.
cannot wait for things to open up fully, because we are ready to hit the road and come to a city near you and
There
bring
you
Sunday
go.
Bites and Tidbits into your living rooms or into your
Right.
community centers. You know what I mean? So that we can be face to face and really do this thing the way we had intended for it to be done.
Right.
So
That just sounds like such a wonderful,
I know.
wonderful
Aren't you ready
plan.
to go someplace? I'm ready to
Yes.
go. Well, I went somewhere.
I was looking at some of our pictures, our traveling photos, and I was like, I'm
I
ready to
know.
go.
And we were just ready to go back again, saying, okay, we're going back to Europe. We're going back.
Yes.
Yes, we will come to Jacksonville, Florida. I've
Oh
never
my
been to
gosh.
Jacksonville, Florida. We will come to anywhere where you are. And if you want us to come and it's safe, you know, we'll mask up and we can do, you know, if everybody take COVID tests, we can figure things out. We'll put some stuff together. You know, I think
Yeah.
it'll be great. But anyway, without further ado, we'd like to invite onto the stage with us today. Okay, no accents, Tara, no
I
accents.
like it though, Tara. You know, it's
Yeah,
I
but,
like that you
all the British
I
people
do
are
like
beating
that
me
you
up.
but I like that you practice that on
But
Sunday Bites and Tidbits. So if you ever get a part and you have to speak that way, you've been working on it. You
yeah, but
have been rehearsing it.
but every British person said I sound like crap. So it would not go through on any part that I do. I was with my friend on the set the other day, and you guys, when my series come out called My Sweet Life, you all have to support it. It's really
You
great. Babette's going
need
to be
to
in it.
watch My Sweet Life and tell everybody. It's
It's going
such
to
an
cover
excellent
so many
series.
things for women in life. But anyway, enough. So
Yes.
I had a British actor on there, and I was trying to mimic him. He fell out laughing. He goes, what? Where you think
Wow.
you're from?" He said, "Where do you think you're from?" I said, "Look, I'm from
Well,
London."
I think you sound great,
Thank you,
Tara.
but as much as I want to say you count, you really don't, because neither of us know an accent that well. If I want to go vegan so much, I feel the I feel the pressure of others. I want to go out to eat with family, but not much to eat with family. Okay, we'll address all of that, but without further ado, let's bring Yvonne of Eating for My Life, and life has a one in it. And welcome Yvonne to the stage, or to the camera,
Welcome.
to the set. And I'm going to pull her over here, and we're going to be over there, because we don't need. Get over here, Yvonne.
Look at this
Okay, hold on.
beautiful queen.
I
Oh my
know.
gosh.
Hi.
You chose
Hello.
today to come on here looking all gorgeous and me and Terry all washed out.
No,
Never
we
that.
actually.
Never
That's
that.
right. That's
Never
right. We look.
that.
That's
Goddesses. We
right.
Thank
always
you.
look
I feel
nice.
better.
So let me ask
You
you a
look
question.
gorgeous.
You look gorgeous, and I love the clean shaved head. I was just
Thank
Wait,
thinking
you.
Tara.
about that today, that I want to go
Tara.
clean. What?
Tara, we never
What?
said welcome to another episode of
Because we're
Sunday Bites
horrible.
and Tidbits. I'm Chef Babette,
I'm Tara Bennett Smith, and our
and
guest
we
today
already in the show
is
now.
Yvonne and Tom. Yeah, and I know we're horrible at that. This is why we need another producer besides me. Tom
You hear
says
Tom? He says
he
she's
wrote Yvonne,
gorgeous.
but we know he meant Yvonne. He says,
Thank
wow,
Yes.
she's gorgeous. Isn't she gorgeous, y'all? Yes,
Yes, she
gorgeous.
is.
Thank you.
So I love
Welcome,
the shaved
sweetheart.
head. Is this like what inspired it? Because I want to get bold enough to do that. And I
Uh-huh.
keep thinking one day I'm going to wake up and go, this is the day.
Well,
You know,
you
I
know
think
what?
about it too, Tara, but I felt the top of my head and I got two dips. She got the perfect head. It's just
Yeah, you
perfect.
do.
I got two dents in the top. Like, if I did it, would I have like doop,
I got
doop?
a dip. I got a dip
You
right
got a
here.
dip?
I
Well,
sure do.
You can feel it?
Hmm.
I can
Yeah.
feel mine too.
well, stick some carrots or stick some vegetables in it, and you be promoting veganism at the same time.
You're so silly.
You know what? I have been wearing my hair like this now for youngest daughter just turned 18. So for 17 years, I cut it off the first time about 24 years ago. And I just stopped putting perms in it 24 years ago and fell in love with weaves and braids and wigs and just got into all of that for about 7 years. And then right around the time when my youngest was born, I started really feeling like, you know what? I think I'm ready to go natural mentally now. And so I realized that I had been already before I had even conceived her, been putting a lot of more natural looking styles in my head via weaves and braids and things like that. So because I had this massive afro by then, I just started going and getting natural hairstyles in my own hair for a year leading up to when my youngest turned 1, which was 17 years ago. And then the day before her first birthday party, I was just like, I'm ready. And I cut it all off. And it wasn't this low, but my intention was to wear it skin bald. And so over like that next year, slowly but surely, I got up a little bit more courage every time I would go get it cut again, to get it a little lower, a little lower, a little lower, and just felt my heart getting stronger and more courageous. Like, I can do this. And then one day it was like, yeah, skin bald. And this is my hairstyle. Just like in years past, I used to go online and look up all sorts of hairstyles from all over the world, take it to my hairstylist and be like, I want this. And now this is my hairstyle.
Freedom. So tell us, I love it. Yes, freedom. So
yeah,
tell us how your journey to veganism, your journey to eating for my life. Tell us about how you got started.
Okay, so before I do any of that, I have a surprise for you all. Okay,
go ahead.
Because
that thing around your head.
This headpiece, no, it's not the headpiece. But I'm gonna keep y'all in mind. Okay. Actually, in addition to all the things that I do, I'm a vocalist and a recording artist and a songwriter, and I wrote a jingle.
Okay, girl, come on. Let's go.
I am just like, let's bring it in. Okay,
go ahead.
Sunday bites and tidbits with Chef Babette and Tara. This life, they'll help you live it and get yourself together. Sunday bites and tidbits with Chef Babette and Tara. Come one, come all, let's tune in. No show can do you better. Sunday bites and tidbits.
But can we have that?
Absolutely. This is for you all. This is for you all.
One more time. Just sing it one more time. One more time. Come on.
All right.
Come on.
Sunday bites and
everybody clap along
with Chef Babette and Tara. This life, they'll help you live it and get yourself together. Sunday bites and tidbits with Chef Babette and Tara. Come one, come all, let's tune in. No show can do you better. Sunday bites and tidbits.
Oh, she can sing.
I love it. You better
go. Jingle. The only thing I ask is that if y'all really want to make it y'all jingle, I'm the one who sings it.
Oh, you're gonna sing it. You gotta sing it. No, absolutely.
Yeah. Sarah, instead of us forgetting to say welcome,
right? We just play that.
See?
We obviously can never remember to say the name of the song. So right before we come on, we're gonna play that.
I love you.
Sunday bites and
y'all too. I love y'all too.
And Tara.
Hey.
Living. Better.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's funky.
All right. Well, I thank you all so much for having me on your show today. You all are so awesome. And I am so inspired and have been so inspired by the both of you amazing goddesses. Oh my gosh. Like on so many levels.
Thank you.
Levels. And I am just like, yeah, I want to be on their show because
I
they're
love
dope,
it.
you know? So I'm Yvonne of Eating for My Life. I'm an African woman, mama, transformational life coach, an accomplisher of all I put my mind to.
Go ahead, girl.
Nice.
Single mom, diagnosed with mental illnesses, PTSD, generalized anxiety disorder, bipolar disorder, and major depressive disorder. And I'm a refined food addict and overeater in recovery. And I'm committed to sharing my journey as I've been learning how to sustainably eat salt, oil, flour, alcohol, sugar-free or sulfose-free. I know you all are familiar with Chef AJ, who coined that acronym. Whole food plant exclusive, and knowing full well what it's like, what it feels like, and what it's like to be in pain from refined food addiction and overeating. I recently wrote and released my new ebook, Eating for My Life: Salt, Oil, Flour, Alcohol, Sugar-Free, Whole Food Plant Exclusive, A Liberating Journey, in which I share freedom, which is a 7-step process that I created to successfully get started eating sulfite-free, whole food plant exclusive again for like the 4th or 5th time at the beginning of last year, and sustainably continue to do so. And in the doing of this, I dropped 64 pounds in less than 8 months last year. And now I've kept it off for over 8 months. And I got my life back. And to further assist others, I've also created Freedom Looks Good on You Coaching Immersion, which is an 8-week online masterclass that further breaks freedom, the acronym, down and supports with weekly phone coaching. So online in our sober eating support toolkit, it contains all of the aforementioned and so much more. And I know you all are going to share later how, people can get in touch and find out more about wonderful and find out more about Eating for My Life. And actually, all of my endeavors and my daughter's endeavors at abundanceisourbirthright.com,
I'm
because
putting that down now.
our birth
www.abundance
is
is
our
our
birthright,
birth.
right?
Okay.
And that's RITE. Abundance is our birthright.com.
Okay.
Yes.
Abundance is so I want to go back a little bit because she's Abou Bakar is
Yes.
saying that I myself struggle with food addiction, and listening to her story would definitely be help for
All
me. So now when
right.
you were how were you diagnosed with all of these different things? How did that come about? Like what did you feel in your body that you
Okay.
felt like you needed to be diagnosed in the first place?
Okay. So I have actually been battling refined food addiction and overeating for over 26 years now, as far back as when I officially became an adult, no longer under my parents' established structure of eating. And over the last 26 years, I've tried multiple diets, read multiple books, etc., as so many of us are, like the person who just commented, trying to attempt to figure out balance.
Mm-hmm.
And around 2014, 2015, I finally mustered up the courage to attend Overeaters Anonymous. And it was a turning point because it was the first time that I had heard that overeating was a disorder, a disease, or an illness. And I felt relieved to find out that this battle wasn't my fault. And going and attending meetings with Overeaters Anonymous and getting a sponsor, it gave me a sense of community, and it helped me start to break down what was refined food addiction, what was overeating. So at the end of 2016, after having already done away with seafood, I decided that I wanted to attempt again to permanently cut dairy out. And because it was feeling so just stressful, actually, I decided to add a challenge of unprocessed eating to go along with permanently cutting dairy out so that I wouldn't feel so stressed about quitting dairy. It only lasted 11 days, unprocessed eating. That was at the beginning of 2017. And during that 11 days,
Did she freeze?
Yes.
Oh, no. Hold on. Maybe she'll come back. Okay, she's fighting to come back. Come on, you come back.
Okay.
Okay, there you go.
Okay.
There you go.
My brain did so much resisting to going without salt, oil, flour, alcohol, sugar, to actually not necessarily going without those things, but to not being able to go and get processed food like I had been used to doing. I had challenged myself with just making my food from scratch. And so when that 11th day hit, and I went to 7-Eleven and got those Lay's potato chips that had been calling my name for 11 days straight, I wasn't satisfied. I was like, why? I don't like feeling like a prisoner to anything. And over the last 20 some odd years since I've been an adult, I've been studying, I've been analyzing, what is it to be able to live life crutch free? I want to live life crutch free. I knew I did. I wasn't really sure how to. And that challenge that I did, with myself of unprocessed eating for those 11 days, that was like the door opener. So on day 11, day 12, I'm online. I'm digging around. I'm researching. I'm trying to figure out, why is my brain acting like this about processed food? And that's when
Oh, no. What's going on?
I love
Processed
this
food.
story.
I know. She'll be back. She'll be back. No,
Okay.
Okay, so go back. You said that's when my brain,
Yes.
you wanted to find out why is your brain acting this way. Go ahead.
Exactly. And I started researching online what was going on. And that's when I started learning about the mental, the emotional, the physical effects. I started learning about the satiety index, pleasure trap, and how our brains are hardwired to
Yes.
look for the highest caloric density food in our environment. And I learned about the motivational triad. I learned about low calorie density, about the fact that salt, oil, flour, alcohol, sugar are excitotoxins. And literally, they're called excitotoxins because they trigger our brain to get excited when we consume these substances. And in turn, they trigger overeating. And so for me, I started implementing changes very quickly because, as I said, I was not satisfied with. Yeah, I wasn't satisfied. I'm not into that. And I started implementing changes.
She said, we are not having that.
I mean, I think at that point I was definitely reaching a divine space in my life, not even knowing that later that year, after I had done all that research and wound up dropping 40 pounds in 40 months, a lot of life happened and I wound up allowing myself to get distracted. And I had a nervous breakdown and was submitted voluntarily into a psychiatric unit. And that is where I was diagnosed.
Real quickly, was the breakdown due to some outside entities that had nothing to do with
family? It had to do with personal family things.
Okay, so
and so then once I was admitted into the psychiatric unit, that is where I was diagnosed with PTSD, generalized anxiety disorder, depression, bipolar, anxiety. That's where I was diagnosed with those things. And I was in there for 2 weeks. And while I was there, after the first 3 days, because for the first 3 days I was there, I was in closed door meetings with them that I had to keep calling because of the level of unprofessionalism that was being exhibited. And it wasn't meshing with what I had been told. I had been told that if I went into this program, I would get the help that I needed. I needed help. I was in a lot of pain. But that's not what was happening at first.
Did they
And
just
so
want to
after,
medicate you kind of situation?
well, they had a lot of different group therapy, as well as a psychiatrist that I was able to see, as well as a therapist. But you know, the first 3 days, I just had to keep having.
Oh, no. Come back. I know you can hear us.
Okay.
Go ahead.
It was out of sight, and it wasn't working at all. And after the third day, that's when they finally were just like, just tell us, what would you like us to do in order so that you can concentrate on getting the help. And I told them, and they made the changes because they could see I wasn't as numb as some of my peers that were in there. And I was very aware of how we were being treated. And I wasn't going to be able to focus on getting help if the level of unprofessionalism continued. So
Can I just stop you real quick? Do you think that because you had begun this process of cleansing your inners with your diet and your food and what you took in, that helped in your clarity of mind while you were in there? To even
Absolutely.
though,
Absolutely. And it's continued to improve my clarity of thinking. No doubt about it. Gratefully, day 3, they just said, what is it? Talk to us. Whatever it is, we're going to do it. At least for the time frame that I was in there. And that's when I was able to finally start getting the help that I needed. And what really stood out to me during the time frame I was in there was that it was time for me to officially, once and for all, burn the cape that I had been wearing, that so many of us Black women have been told since we were born that we're supposed to be wearing, that we're supposed to be trying to save everybody and their mama and their daddy and their kids.
What's the word?
I burnt it.
Be strong.
Yeah, no, not I. I am a human, and we are humans, and we have feelings, and we go through like anybody else. And gratefully, those dots started connecting while I was in there, that, you know what, despite the fact that I've been a holistic practitioner for over 20 years and know all about self-care and so on and so forth, it wasn't until I was in there that it really started clicking for me. Burn the cape. Never have it put back on your back again. You are going to have to prioritize your self-care in a savage, unapologetic way from here on out. And that is what I have been doing. And I've been doing that slowly but surely, teaching myself how to do all of that. And that is actually a part of why I started a movement. I have a brand called Just Her Getaway, which I started over a year ago to empower women to take quality time for ourselves. And I started that movement specifically to remind myself, in addition to other women, how important it is to prioritize self-care. And I transparently share, just like I do with Eating for My Life, how I'm figuring out how to take time out for myself as a single mom. And I actually, even on International Black Love Day, February the 13th, that just passed, I actually just wrote and released my second ebook titled Let Go or Be Dragged, Learning the Healing Art of Letting Go. Okay? I know you all can feel me. Okay? Because I have been learning over the years that my life has almost felt like the title of it is Let Go or Be Dragged. And I'm tired of being dragged. I'm tired. So what I did was in the book, I share the struggles and triumphs of my journey thus far, some life impacting realizations, and self-care, which is actually an acronym, and an 8-step signature strategy that I created to successfully assist me and others with focusing on the sacred art of divine self-care and learning how to identify and let go of that which does not positively contribute to our lives. And there's a bonus living soundtrack with some of my breakthrough spoken word poetry and songs that comes along with the purchase of that book as well.
Well, you know what I'm really excited about, and not to cut you off, but I just cut you off, so I apologize. What
It's
I'm really
okay.
excited about is how when and everyone out there, when you make a decision for something, you are always met with, when you make a decision to say this is the direction that we want to go in, and this is the direction, you don't even have to like sit down and, I mean, you can, but it's almost like the right things come your way. When we came back off of hiatus for Bet and I, one of the things that I was saying that I wanted to do a show to transform the show from just being about veganism to about lifeism, about eating healthy and about mind, body, and spirit, because one without the other, like you were a healthy eater, but you had all these other disorders that you didn't know about. So eating healthy serviced you, but it didn't serve the entire part of you. But
Exactly.
it was ironic that as soon as we made that decision to really expand the show, most of our guests just came with full stories about life. It wasn't no longer just about I eat for this, I eat for that. It's really about the wholeness of us all. Because I eat healthy, but sometimes my mind wants to go wonky. And I gotta pull that back. I gotta let go of the cape. You know what I mean? And go, I don't have to take that on. So kudos to you, sister. Kudos to you, you know?
Yeah, thank you. Well, you know what? Just like you said, once I started connecting that, this addiction and overeating, I started connecting it to extended periods of depression that I had been experiencing over the last 20 years, undiagnosed. And I realized, okay, so prioritizing my self-care, I got to make sure I'm clear about exactly how to do this. My children are watching me. I still have my youngest at home, and I want to make sure that she knows how to prioritize her self-care. So I have been working on that. And that is why at the beginning of last year, January the 6th of last year, between 2017, when I first discovered SoFast Free, when I first discovered the pleasure trap, when I first, did that challenge to myself, between then and the beginning of 2020, I got distracted. I gained all those 40 pounds back that I had dropped at the beginning of 2017. I went through some more bouts of depression, but I just continued to work on loving me. I continued to work on my love of myself and building up my esteem and building up my confidence. And I gave myself permission, because after I dropped that 40 pounds, oh, y'all, I was showing out, okay? Because I didn't think that I would ever get that small again. This is how small I was when I graduated from high school. I didn't think that I would ever get that small again, wear those size clothing. And unfortunately, it was an experiment at first. And so when I got distracted, I allowed myself to get distracted, and I started gaining that weight back. I was holding on to the past. And it took me a while before I looked up and said, you know what? Life is continuing to pass me by. I'm getting tired of continuing to just keep falling to depression for one reason or another. My children don't stop growing while I'm depressed. They don't stop growing. This time is being wasted. My youngest daughter was getting closer and closer. She just turned 18. So a few years ago, at this point, when I'm making these realizations, she's 16. And I realized, throw those clothes away that you do not fit anymore, because it's not making you feel good to keep trying to squeeze in the clothes that you don't fit anymore. Throw those clothes away. Get clothes that do fit you. Wear those clothes and get out of the house and live your life, because it's not waiting for you. It's not. And I decided that I wanted to live life instead of letting life live me.
Mhm.
So I said, so what? I'm eating so fast again. So what? I'm going to give myself permission to eat how I want to eat without it meaning that I'm going to stay stuck here for the rest of my life. How about I just give myself space and grace to be me and take this all one bite at a time? And between 2017 and 2020, in the beginning of 2020, I tried a few times. And every time I would feel resistance from myself, then I would say, it's okay. We'll come back to this. Put a pin in this. We're going to come back to this. Beginning of 2020, I knew my self-love was in a better place. And I was ready to give myself another fighting chance. And this time, I formed a plan for success. So that acronym that I came up with, the 7-step process, freedom, it stands for F, form a plan for success, which is what I did at the beginning of last year. And I looked back over the years and I thought about what worked and what didn't. And so the next thing is the R in freedom, research. I made sure that I continued with my research. E, I established my why. I established a clear why, right? Of why am I choosing to eat like this? And I came up with a why that makes me cry. And that is that I'm tired of being in pain, period. Because when I overeat, it triggers depression. It triggers a downward spiral. It has triggered trauma that I have inflicted on my children that I can never undo. So once I establish my why, then establish a support system. Gratefully, I have been establishing a support system first to myself. I am my own support system. I am my greatest support system, to have my own back, which is why I married myself on the winter solstice back in December.
Ooh, I'm going to marry myself. I'm going to marry myself.
Why not? I will come and sing at your wedding, Tara. Yes, I will. Yes, I will. Because you know what I realized after such a beautiful year last year of me really prioritizing my self-care in such a powerful way? What you waiting on? You got your back. You in your corner, girl. You ain't going nowhere. Make this thing official. And that's what I did. So I'm my own support system. And then I, have been surrounding myself with beautiful online community of like-minded people in different groups, including my own Eating for My Life, as well as Well Your World, as well as Get to the Root and Chef AJ's group, and so many different phenomenal groups and communities. So then the D is decide to banish people pleasing. And as I formed my plan for success, I realized once and for all that if I was really serious about doing this and trying to figure out how to get this to work sustainably and continue on like that, I could not care about what anybody thinks anymore, period. Because we can do this. And you know what? The next was obtain awareness of my environment, how my house is set up, the fact that I don't live by myself, and we're not doing any shaming in our household. We've evolved from that. So yes, my daughter does eat different from me sometimes, but I got to figure out how to make it work. And I realized, you know what? I can actually change my perspective and look at the fact that I live in a house with someone who doesn't eat exactly like me as my own personal boot camp. Let's do this. Okay, because if I can do this in my house, that means I can do it outside of my house. And then M of the freedom acronym, make my journey my own. This is mine. It's not anyone else. No one else can put their hands around my journey. I'm a unique person and I get to figure out how to do this for me, by me. That's freedom. And that is how I've been doing this. And as I said, gratefully, 64 pounds down in less than 8 months last year. And so far, been keeping it off for 8 months now. Celebrated a year of eating salt, oil, flour, alcohol, sugar-free, whole food, plant exclusive on January the 6th of this year. And y'all, I got my life back.
So within all of this, so are you a vegan? Or are you not a vegan?
So I eat salt, oil, flour, alcohol, sugar-free, whole food, plant exclusive. That's how I eat. I don't use labels.
The term, right. So the plant exclusive would mean that you only eat plants exclusively.
Exactly.
Okay. Because Tom just said, please encourage her to go vegan. Well, technically, she is a vegan and beyond. I would say, if you want to use that term, because she only eats plants exclusively, Tom.
Well, the term allows us to at least identify those who don't understand, you know.
Right.
Her label, if you will.
And I encourage people to do whatever they need to do to help them understand more about what it is that I do. But as far as for me, I'm not really into labels too much. So, you know, this is how I eat. Yeah.
And I respect that. Go ahead.
And I'd just like to say an incredible journey thus far for yourself.
Thank you.
It seems like you have, I mean, come on, we all suffer some mental illness. None of us are batting 100.
Yeah.
We have so many things on the planet that assist us in failing, if you will.
Yeah.
Especially when we buy into it. So sharing this journey, this part of your journey, or thus far, with all of us is appreciated and absolutely needed. Because too many times when we're going through that, we feel like we're the only ones going through it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
I do.
when I love the part about not letting people identify who you are. It's so many of us from the time we're children. I can remember my story where I can remember someone looking at me that cared for me every single day of my life, looking at me going, I can't stand you. This is an elder person that is caring for me to help my mother. So, you know, what does that do for a little girl that I'm feeling like I have to stay with this person? She don't even like me. You know what I mean? So it's just so much. We're all malfunctioning, and that's what it is. And I don't think there's a household where the children are not at some point, because we're not batting 100.
Exactly. Yeah. We're up against the lot.
But to be able to go through that walk you took, and to be able to gain all of this, no matter, it doesn't matter that you went to the hospital and had to stay. It was all a part of the journey and what was the healing process. And I just so appreciate you sharing the story and letting us know that you had a story, because we do all have a story. And I love what you said too, Tara, opening the door for other people to come and share, because it's not just about what you're putting in your mouth. We're like sponges.
Oh my gosh, very much so. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And how you know, I say this often, and I know a lot of people understand this and probably understand the term, you know, disease and dis-ease. It's the same word.
That's
right. So when you, I don't care how much food you put in that's healthy, if your mind is at dis-ease, everything turns to some form of a challenge, a problem, or something, a disease. So you
Yeah.
want to try to combat all of those things at one time. So as you're clearing your inners healthy wise, you're also clearing your mental state and all of that stuff. So someone's asking, what is a day of eating like for Yvonne?
You know what? I get that question a lot. A day of eating for me these days, as I live a life free from cravings, is dope because it's not driven by cravings. That's for sure. What a day of eating is like for me is eating whenever my body calls for fuel, whatever time that is, period. Not having to be concerned about counting carbs, calories, micronutrients,
Oh,
none of that.
you
A
got the
day of eating
freedom.
for me is exactly.
Oh no, she's
She's first.
not.
She'll be back. She'll be back. Just keep
Yeah.
talking. But and that's what you talk about, Babette, how you
No,
often
yeah, because I don't eat like that either, baby. You're right,
You
dear.
know?
I eat for nutrition.
Yes.
That's the first thing that I think about.
Mhm.
I'll make a handful of nuts a meal.
Yeah.
I'm not sitting down to plates of food. That was the way we were taught. So,
Exactly.
3 big giant plates of food that's too much bulk. The
Yeah.
body doesn't even need to have to try to process. And the
Mhm.
fact that we miscombine the bulk.
Oh, yeah.
We start piling all kind of stuff in one meal. We sit down to a plate of food instead of eating what the human species was designed to eat. We eating what the human species eat. We eating what the every species in one plate.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah. Yep. So you know what? Whole grains, fruits, vegetables, whole grains, legumes, little bit of nuts and seeds, potatoes, mushrooms. On any given day, I'm making sure that I get at least 4 to 7 bottles of these 23-ounce bottles of water that I keep by my side at all times. I'm doing normally about 2 to 3 of those before I even eat anything, because that's just how my body works. I'm getting my hydration in, and when I wake up in the morning, my body is still continuing the process from overnight, breaking that fast, healing my body. So I'm getting that water in. And then, in order for me to break free of these cravings, one of the most integral parts has been making leafy greens first meal. That is
yeah,
the ways I supported really breaking free from these
that's it.
cravings. Yeah.
That's it.
So,
It's the nutrients tell the brain I'm
Mhm.
good.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep. So, now that the cravings are largely gone these days, it's more so environmental or memory related cravings that might pop up. I might smell seafood and go back to when I was, on the beach, or if I go to the beach, I might, start, but gratefully, I know how to make sulfite-free crab cakes, and them things is the bomb.com if I really want them. So, baked potatoes, regular and sweet, collard greens, dry sauteed spinach, with various salt, oil, and sugar-free seasonings, apples, bananas, strawberries, pineapples. Those are the main things that I'm eating. Yeah, those are the main things that I'm eating. And again, I'm eating whenever my body calls for fuel. And that's it. So my life is freed up, getting ready to learn how to ride a motorcycle, drive a
that's
motorcycle.
me. That's me.
Kara,
That's my next
Kara, you
thing.
guys should get
Yes.
together. Is there by
See,
chance you want to skydive at all?
I did. But you know what? That was years ago. I'm going to tell y'all something. When my youngest, so she just turned 18, right when I was getting ready to have her, I had already planned it out. Okay. As soon as I'm done healing, I'm going skydiving. I promise y'all. The moment I looked in that child's face, I was like, I'm not going skydiving.
That's the
Oh,
same.
okay.
That's a similar thing that happened to me.
Yeah.
I always wanted to skydive until I had kids, and I was like, maybe not.
And it was interesting how it worked out. But you know what I did get to do? Now that I live this life free from cravings and my life is freed up to live life, I got to do something that I've been wanting to do for a long time. I did this in October. I think of last year, I flew a plane for the first time. I took my first
Wow.
lesson flying a plane.
Nice.
So yeah, the article that went viral that the Beat did on me back in December, and Google News picked it up and stuff. That's the
Nice.
picture that they have. They have one of me when I went to go see Lion King on Broadway with the same outfit on, weighing 174 pounds, and one of me recently standing in front of the plane that I flew with the same outfit on, weighing now 64 pounds less.
Wow.
So yeah, freed up to live life. Yeah.
Well, Babette, I'm sure either of you or myself can answer this, but I love nuts, but just learning we should soak our nuts. Men, soak your nuts. Women, too, soak your nuts. And you all shed some light on that.
Well, of course, you soak the nuts because nuts have enzyme inhibitors, and soaking the nuts releases the inhibitors, and they're easier to digest. That's basically what that's about. Now, there are some times that I just don't have the time to take a walnut, put it in a dehydrator, dry it out to do what it is I need to do with it. But most of the times, if I can, I try to soak my nuts, but I don't soak every nut like that. But I always buy organic nuts. They have too many pesticides on nuts. So if you can, try to buy organic. If you cannot, you need to soak them, but you need to try to dry them out if you need a drier nut for whatever your recipe is. Now, did you have something to add to that? No?
No, all good. Okay, hope that answered your question.
I do low calorie density. That's how I drop the weight, and it's how I function best. So for me, nuts are a trigger food. And so I can only keep them in the trunk of my car for if I'm driving around and I need to get something quick.
Right.
I can get those if I'm not near Wendy's to get some plain baked potatoes or something like that. But you know what's going on, Chef Babette. You know what's up.
So what are good seasonings to replace salt?
So Benson's Table Tasty salt substitute, or Mrs. Dash Table Blend. That's one that you can get really easy, quick, fast at pretty much any grocery store. And outside of those, because I think it's important to help people understand that when you start thinking about replacing salt, you might want to stop yourself and think about the fact that most whole foods naturally have sodium in them already. And as you learn how to abstain from salt and give yourself a chance to do that for longer and longer periods of time, you're going to start to actually taste the natural sodium that's in our whole foods already. So you're not going to necessarily be coming from a space of trying to replace salt. You're going to be coming from a space of trying to make sure that you are adding variety to the way that your food tastes, seasoning your food. So smoked paprika, all sorts, cumin. Oh my goodness, my spice cabinet.
Don't forget garam masala. Oh my
yes,
God, garam
right?
masala is the liquid cumin. If you mix garam masala with not cumin, but the other one, the what is it? Curry. Is it curry? Yeah.
Okay.
Garam masala and curry. Oh my God, that is such a wonderful combination.
Yeah, it's so many different salt, oil, and sugar-free seasonings. Basil, thyme, so many different ones. And literally all last year, I really got into that, learning flavor profiles. And that's how I wound up accumulating such a vast amount of various herbs and spices that don't have any salt, oil, or sugar in them. So I try to encourage people to understand that don't look at things as much as trying to replace oil, trying to replace salt, trying to replace sugar. Look at trying to figure out how to live your life eating without those things and fixing your food. Okay, if I'm not going to use oil, well, then I'm using a non-stick pan, low heat. I can roast. I can dry fry by using a nonstick pan on low heat. And different things like that versus thinking, what can I do to use instead of oil? What can I do to use instead of salt? I've been learning to get away from thinking like that because that wasn't helping me. But as far as a salt substitute, Benson's Table Tasty or Mrs. Dash Table Blend is what you can use, is what I use in place of salt in recipes.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
But way more than if a recipe calls for a teaspoon of salt. I just believe when I eat like this, sulfite free, learn to see what works for your taste buds.
yeah, because we all have our own, like you said, you know, we all have our own spot. But in terms of the Kirkland's, I do use the Kirkland's no salt seasoning, and it's unbelievable for the person that just asked about that. I use it in almost everything. Oh yeah, and the ethnic flavors. I love those as well. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy that I've discovered so many different flavors, you know.
Yeah.
Well, we are
And she's
winding. Go ahead.
No, I
You know,
love the
this was
spices.
quick.
oh
I
yeah,
know.
we're down an hour. I just wanted to address real quick. Tom asked, does she also make her own spices?
No, I don't.
No, she don't. She
No.
don't make no spices, Tom. None at
Gratefully,
all.
gratefully to the space I'm in now, I'm very rarely in the kitchen, and life is wonderful. Everything is simple. I call it KISS, KISS. Keep it salt, oil, flour, alcohol, sugar-free, simple. That's what I do because my life is no longer driven by cravings. So I'm the main spice that I use is Mrs. Dash Table Blend and cinnamon. Those are the two favorites. I take them with me everywhere I go. I'm in a hotel right now. Those are the two that come with me because they're going on my cinnamon. The cinnamon is going on my oatmeal and my baked potato, sweet potato. And the Mrs. Dash Table Blend is going on whatever vegetable that I have, gotten from the grocery store in microwavable bag. Throw that thing in the microwave along with
Why
one
you still
regular
using the
potato.
microwave? You know I'm gonna mess with you on that. You
I
nuking
know,
your food.
and you know what?
Nuking your food before you
I
eat
know.
it.
Check it out. Check it out, Chef Babette. I'm with you. Okay. My kids can tell you we got rid of microwaves a long time ago, right? But here's what I learned over the last few years as I've been working on this piece of my life. What I've been learning is that as a refined food addict and overeater in recovery, I've had to figure out what compromises am I willing to make in order to stay on a sustainable path for this, which is very important to me. So and also as someone who battles depression, I can honestly tell you all, last year during that year that I've dropped those 64 pounds, I battled exhaustive depression symptoms for about 5 weeks straight during the summertime. And what I can tell you is that microwavable, frozen, plain, vegetables and baked potatoes, they saved my life. They did. My daughter, she watched me as I battled those symptoms. I didn't have the energy sometimes to take a shower and to use the microwave to throw those in there. It saved my life because what it did was it allowed me to continue eating in a fashion, which is sulfite-free, whole food, plant exclusive, that continued to improve my clarity of thinking, even while I was going through these depressive symptoms. And be able to recognize that I needed to increase my self-care even more than I already was doing. So I'm with you. Microwave is definitely not preferable, but I'll do whatever is necessary to make this work for me, depending on where I'm going. I'm out a lot, traveling, so on and so forth. I just do what I got to. And I actually have a new journey coming up when my youngest daughter transitions on to the next part of her life as a senior, homeschooled senior. Coming out of that, I'll be going on a new journey called Her Goddessy, just traveling around the United States in a van converted into a bedroom in the back. It's going to be whatever. You know what I mean? I'm going to continue eating like this, and I'll be able to embark on that journey because I eat like this. And so, you know, this is the way I look at it, Chef Babette. The quality of the whole food plants, right, that I'm eating versus processed food, it helps cancel out, you know, some negative effects of using something like a microwave if I have to, or something like that.
No, you know what? I really do get it. And when you mention microwave, I'm so anti-microwave.
I feel you. Yeah.
I needed to address it.
Yeah.
But you know, as you said, we all have to do it the way that we have to do it to get to the end results. So I don't stand in judgment. You've explained that. I can remember as a flight attendant, if I had a 4 or 5 day trip, I was automatically gonna fast because I knew that it was going to be challenging for me going to all these different towns. Now I flew back in the 80s and 90s, you know what I mean? So come on, you know, these little towns I was flying to, they wasn't getting ready to be doing nothing for me as a vegan. So I would just do a fast for the amount of days that I was going to be flying, because I didn't want to have to do what you just said. You know, I was so against the microwave, so I had to figure out, how am I going to handle this? You know what I'm saying? So
I understand.
I thank you for your explanation. But for all of y'all out there, if you can figure it out without the microwave, try not to nuke your food before you eat it. That's all I'm trying to say. But I got you, Queen.
And there's really, you know what, there's really no judgment obviously here, because we're thankful that you're sharing your story. And you know, it comes back to the rounding it off, because we're now over 7 o'clock, the label situation. You know, we're always looking outside of someone else and deciding. Well, let me back up a little bit. One of the things I'm working on is nonviolent communication, meaning that I have no real right to decide that what you're doing is not right, because I am not in your shoes. And violent communication is when we make a decision based on where we are for where someone else should be. We can share our opinion and ask, you know, but the truth is I can't for Babette, I can't for you. You know, your journey is your journey, and how you get through it is how you get through it. So for me to stand, which I know Babette was not doing, because I'm not a microwave person either. And when somebody tries to make me tea and then they want to put the teacup in the microwave, and I just say, could you just put it in a pot? Because the first thing they think of is nuclear water.
It tastes better. It tastes better when you use in the oven and the stove, to me.
And like Tara said, it ain't even you've already clarified why you do what you do, and we get it, and it's helped you on your journey, so it's been a blessing. But the one thing that we all understand, knowledge is power. Knowledge frees us. And when you learn something, try to adapt it, and especially if it is truth for you and you feel like it is healing for you, adapt that and figure out ways to make that work in your human journey. But like you say, you know, I just watched, and I know we got to go, but I just watched a documentary called, and I shared it online. I couldn't believe it after I watched it. It's called Seaspiracy.
Right.
And it's all about the overfishing on our planet, and how it's forgiven, and how we all need to take responsibility right here, right now, to care for this home. We are so messed up over he colored and he white and he a Mexican and all kind of real ignorant. We are a species that has been given the opportunity to care for a planet. And all we can do in our low level conscious way of thinking is concern ourselves with whether somebody is melanated or not, whether somebody is superior or inferior. Let me just tell you, it ain't but one level for humans. Humans, period. It ain't all that. It ain't all that. We have a planet that is dying because of our decisions. And to me, it's about learning to beginning to raise your level of consciousness. And get with our home and protect our home. We gotta. I love that. We gotta start loving self. Because if you don't love you, you ain't loving nothing outside of you. Period. I don't care how much you say it. I love my kids more than I love myself. Well, that's ignorant.
That's not right. Yeah, exactly.
And it's quite impossible.
Yeah,
You better be starting with number one. Self-love is everything. Self-care is everything. Your story embodies all of that. Keep moving in the direction that you are moving in. You are a goddess. You are doing exactly what the universe intended for you to do, is to allow your light to shine and forget about all the stuff that ain't true that's depressing you. Because it ain't true.
That's right.
It ain't got shit to do with you.
You're right. You're
so
right.
bless you, sister. And thank you for bringing this story to us.
Yes. And before I give you your last word, and remember, you know, when you talk, I want to just
damn, Tara.
Her last word, before, because now we're over. But you know, each step, it was in steps for you. You know what I mean? You're healing, and the microwave might have worked at that time. By the time you move for next year, you might find another way to do it, because you'll be stronger in yourself to now not have to do it that way. So it's all a process, and we can't beat ourselves up. But the process is not. And we've all been there. So your process for next year, right? Yeah, but your process for next year might be, you know what? I'm stronger now in that way. So if I ever find this, I have something in place for that. So whatever it is, this is your journey, and that's why there's no such thing as labels. Labels, toss them out. We don't have a right to decide for anyone what works for them. And I'm a firm believer in that. As long as we're doing our best to treat everyone with respect, this planet with respect, that's our job here. What would you like to tell us before you go? Everybody's saying to bring you back, so we got to get you back here again.
I would love it. I would love it. I'm more than happy to do so. You know what? The main thing that I want to leave off with today is be easy with yourself. Be easy with yourself. That's the number one thing that I tell my students, that I tell my clients. Be easy with yourself. There is no such thing as perfection. Practice makes progress. And we got this. So here's to our health, y'all.
Yay.
You know?
Okay, give me your website again.
Thank you.
Give me your website where we can find all of your other brands. So give that to me again. Go ahead.
So that's abundanceisourbirthright.com. And that's abundanceisourbirthright.com. Abundanceisourbirthright.com. You're going to find everything. Eating for My Life, which is all about the eating journey. You're going to find Just Her Getaway. You're going to find Forever Unschooled, which is a lifestyle that my children and I have been living for over the last 10 years as we've been unschooling. You're going to find out all about what my girls do and all their entrepreneurial pursuits since they were the young age of 7. Yeah, everything. And there's a phenomenal African Black business directory there as well at Abundance. Right. Oh, and Greenlight Productions, which is my label. So you'll get a chance to see the website and listen to my music and my spoken word for my album and my EP mixtape that's out.
Okay, so Yvonne, make sure we have to talk so that we can get this our jingle somehow happening.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh yeah. And
okay. And for those who were not.
I know, but right quick, I'm doing a retreat, so I gotta have you come and speak to the.
I'm with it.
On the retreat thing, all right?
Yes.
All right.
Okay. Now, as we end, for those of you who did not tune in first, we're gonna end with our jingle. Go for it again. One last time.
Hey, hold on for a second.
You need to take a sip of water.
All right. Me, psych. Sunday Bites and Tidbits with Chef Pepette and Tara. This life, they'll help you live it and get yourself together. Sunday Bites and Tidbits with Chef Pepette and Tara. Come one, come all, it's tune in. No show can do you better. Sunday Bites and Tidbits.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us this week, and we'll see you all. Yvonne, you were a joy. Thank you for hitting us up.
Thank you.
Thank you all for joining us, and we will see you next week. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.
Okay, we are.